Hey everyone, Bright2J here from Yay Toys Plus, and I just wanted to show you something a little different today. Today's review is going to be on a modification of sorts. So I'm sure you've seen my reviews on these guys or anybody else's, because these figures have been out for a while. But here's something a little different. So, I don't know if anybody else who watches this channel is a fan of the Arrowverse on the CW. I mean, I have been a fan of the show for quite a while. I'm actually currently rewatching it on Netflix just to fill in the time until season 6 returns. So, this actually starts... Well, I'm going to take you back a little bit. When I first saw these figures at New York Comic Con 2016, these were in the booth, and I was like, wow, I cannot wait to get my hands on both of them. Then, over time, I kind of had a little thought flowing around through my head. It's like, hey, can we alter them just a little bit, where you can kind of get them to fit into the TV show figure line? And I didn't do anything with it for a while. Like, the idea just toyed in my head for quite some time. And then it wasn't until maybe November is when I thought about it some more, and then I decided to say screw it, and I went for it. So it started. A couple of years ago, I bought the Arrow figure. It was like the second release. It's after he gets the mask from Barry, so like that around then. So it's a while ago. And then later on, I bought the Roy Harper figure, and I also picked up the Oliver Queen on the island, because at one point on my old channel, I had originally wanted to do the full figure line as a review. It never happened, and they went in a closet, and then I moved, and life happens, and so then this channel started, and I never thought to do the figure line, because at this point it was old. Who wants to see old figures? So I've kind of babbled on enough about that. And so, let me bring you back toward the idea itself. So, I went home for Thanksgiving, and then after dinner, I think it was before dinner, because I think after dinner I was a little too full. I went to my old bedroom, went into the closet, and I found my old figures, and I decided to take them back with me and pop the heads off. So these are the heads of the Oliver Queen second series, and then the Oliver on the Island. So these heads are roughly about the same size as the heads that Mezco put out. I did have to alter them using a lot of hot water, a pair of needle nose pliers to stretch it without breaking, and then an X-Acto cut around and made that hole just enough. Now, for the Roy Harper, to get the Colton Haynes head sculpt, it was a lot trickier. Same thing on the bottom, but it got to the point where like I even scratched the back of the paint, and I just got to get like a Sharpie or something and fill that in. That's not a big deal. But I decided that I wanted to change things up a bit. The Roy Harper one is a little tricky. We'll show you him first, actually, because there's a lot more with the Stephen Amell. So, this is Arsenal. I love the head sculpt that Mezco put out. So if I ever go back to comic, I can just pop it back on. But simply take it off. And then this is a little loose, but not very. And you still get full articulation. I mean, you could always take a little bit of blue tack and fix it. But, like, it's still... Oops. Like I said, I need a little bit of blue tack. It still goes pretty well. Like it doesn't look too bad, and I really like it. So that's Arsenal. And now for Arrow, did something a little different. So not only did I change the head, and which, by the way, these are still using Mezco's pegs. So I did nothing to the body of Mezco, just simply popped the head off. And everything I did, we'll start with the unmasked. Everything I did was strictly TV-verse figure line from Mattel. So there he is, thinking in the cave. And you still get articulation, and I think the skin tone matches just right, too. This head's a little loose, but I definitely need to... I think I either got to carve a little bit more and then fill it in, or I still got to look. But I think that looks great. And now basically take that off, and now take the head with the mask, plug that on. This one's a little bit tighter, actually. And again, it looks great. And take the hood, and it doesn't look bad. It almost looks like the season 4 costume. I know the season 4 costume had more sleeve, but whatever. And then I was looking at it, I was almost satisfied. But then I was like, the bow is different. And as much as I like the bow that came with the Mezco figure, I'm like, I want to change something. So I went back to the closet. This was like a week later. I'm sorry, I should have said that. So about a week later, I went back to the closet. I went back to the bag in which my stuff was put in storage. And then I found this. So I did custom to it, right? So this was the bow that... So the bow that came with that figure, with the second series Arrow figure, the bow was too big. But I also put up a review of my Green Arrow and Flash 2-pack that came out, it was very late last year, or middle of 16, I forget. But I took that figure, and I took off the bowstring, and I went to Michael's Crafts, and I bought elastic. I wish I could have gotten it in green, but, you can't argue that this doesn't look good. And then I noticed it was a little loose in his hand, so I took some more elastic, and I wrapped it around there, tied it, cut it, and glued the knot into place. I could change this at any time. That's the great part. I didn't glue the string to the bow. I only glued the knot. So before I put it in his hand, I know you guys are probably curious, does it work? So, let's take the, so basically, it works. And that's the custom, and I think it looks great. And then, of course, you know, fitting in his hand. Fix those arrows. All right. So, fitting it in his hand, you know, just like, you know, and I think that looks really good. I think this custom came out really well. I'm not a customizer. It's not my talent. I know there are people out there that do great work. So, like, I did I want to say I did like a budget custom, you know, like, because you can go to these guys that, you know, that make these head sculpts, but you're paying extra money for it. I mean, granted, you pay for, you know, what you get. Like, I mean, all the custom heads that I've seen out there, like, I know it's like, what's it, Tony May, like, his head sculpts, the John Wick head sculpt is just, people drool over it. It just looks so great, which, I mean, maybe one day we'll get a John Wick figure, Mezco, if you're watching. But yeah, like, I think this looks great. I mean, again, I did nothing to the figures themselves, you know, like to the Mezcos. They're 100% Mezco minus a head. The pegs are the same. It's all done from the TV DC universe. And yeah, I'm stoked that I had this idea and that it went through and that nothing went wrong with it. I really am 100% satisfied with my customs. Like I said, it's the same pegs, so whenever you want to put the comic book default heads back on, just simply unplug the head and put the original ones back on. I mean, I'm probably gonna keep these in my display case as the TV show. I mean, we'll see. I like the original head sculpt. I think, you know, like, I think these look great. Mezco does a fantastic job. But right now, I think I'm just sticking with the DC figure line. It's just fantastic. Well, I'm glad I got to share this with you guys. This was something that I had the idea of, and I went through it. If there's a point to this, it's basically, if you have an idea, just go for it. You know, so definitely see if you want to do it for yourself. You could probably still get the Arrow figures like in a comic shop or whatever. I'm sure they still have them, or you can eBay them or Amazon. I don't think they're out of production yet. Or even if you have them already and you want to try it, go for it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll put down all the social media stuff down at the bottom. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.